me there was none left. That's not true. Thank you guys so much for being here for this special weekend of shows, Rise Up. I'm Mark, I'm with Washington Improv Theater. We have just a crazy circus of improvisers who want to share their art form with you tonight on stage. Some of it will be filled to the brim with political fury. Some of it probably will just be really funny. We don't know what's going to happen because it's improvised. That's what Washington Improv Theater is all about. Your shows tonight, you have Kristen and Amy, or the Amy and Kristen, or Kristen and Amy show.
Yeah!
That is the sound of anybody who has ever seen them, because they just love incarnate. We have a show, a one-night only creation called Seance. With every other improviser from maybe Chicago, possibly New York, the West or East Coast, like a lot of people. Basically everyone who ever met Chelsea Norman. And then at the end of the night we have a mashup, which is just for women and queer identified improvisers, which, make some noise if you're a woman or a queer. And first up, a very special duo. These two exude charisma in a dangerous, dangerous way. We did a show this fall called POTUS Among Us at WIT, where one of these characters, she played a candidate who was out to basically kill zombie citizens. And in her closing speech, she pulled up an audience member who had identified himself as a zombie during the show and had him executed on stage during her. And she won the election! So this woman understands the politics of the time. Please give a warm welcome to your opening act. They are White Privilege and Black Power.
Hey everybody, glad that you could all be here tonight.
First off, this is Glenn. Excuse me. Greg Tindale.
We'll keep names to a minimum.
The one who killed the audience.
Yeah. So when I heard that we was doing the show about like political action and all this kind of stuff, I was like, oh, I really want to do something, but I was like, I'm just like the white, straight, like I'm the problem essentially. I'm the man. And I was like, oh, I'd love to be able to just like explore these topics and see how I feel. And I love Eva, and I wanted to do a show with Eva. I was like, let's do a two-person show. And she was like, yeah, let's do it.
Exactly.
So,
and Greg came up with the title too. And he sent it to me, and I was like, yeah.
In this show, it's like, let's just like get on stage and do like an honest discussion. Like we can ask each other like real questions, like what it's like to be each other, like because we have these different perspectives. So that's what we're gonna do. We haven't talked about what the questions are. We're just gonna ask these questions of each other, and then we'll do some scenes. And if you in the audience have questions you would like to ask of us, like think of them, and then at the end maybe we'll cut to some questions in the audience to answer those. So I guess I'll start. And so what I wanted to talk about is, because the show has been like coming up and I've been thinking about it, that a lot of people tell me like, oh well, this is going to be the end of your comedy career because you're going to say something horrible and you're going to get like booed off stage and like you're just done. So
maybe tonight.
That's still like a total possibility. But so in all the interactions that I have now, I've been like race has been like way bigger like in my mind as it's going on. Yeah. So I guess my question is like for you is that all the time for you, or is because for me the majority of the time I don't think about it, but for you is that like all the time?
Yeah, you know what? I went to Stone College, a historically black college in Atlanta. It's a women's college as well, and so at this. Yes, right. So like you're always aware, right? It's always there, especially if you're going into stores or especially service industry stuff. Like you're like, are they going to serve you before they serve me? Type stuff. but it's not all the time, and I think I only become aware of if something triggers. Like I guess it's always back in the room. And then if I were to see something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm black. Yeah. So it's not always in the front of my mind, but it's just always something that's just there, right? And then of course, you live your life, and then also like being in improv, right? I don't know if people in the DC community, we've had a lot of discussions about race and other diversity within improv here in DC. And so that conversation was enlightening to me because I've been in improv games for a while now, and I usually am one of the only blacks on a team or represented in a show of some sorts. And I guess you got used to it, right? And I've moved up where now I can create my own projects. But I think when I was first starting out, either I saw more or it just didn't, like, this was just so much fun, I want to do it. So it's there, but it only pops up when something happens. Yeah.
Okay. Did you put our name in with the host? The hostess?
Okay, I'm start now. All right. Okay, I put the name in. All right, we're just gonna sit here, so we're stand here and wait for our turn.
I just didn't eat anything beforehand because I thought didn't think we'd be waiting so long.
We came to Chevy Chase. We made that decision, and I think waiting increases patience.
I think Gandhi said that.
Yeah, he definitely said that. Hey, this is our weekend. We're just gonna relax. We're not gonna worry about anything. Even though I know that the Johnsons came in after us. Yes, they had their grandmother in a wheelchair, but still, there were only 2 people. They had a party of 8.
I'm gonna say something. Did I say something?
To them or me?
To them. To them. I'm gonna say something.
Say it. It's not gonna happen.
Hi. My friend Eva and I, we're on the wait list. We're number. How long is it gonna be, do you think? Okay. Because the Johnsons, with that busted ass wheelchair, they just rolled right up. And I don't want to make a point of it, but I saw that grandma walking through the parking lot. She walked through the parking lot. Someone was carrying the wheelchair on her back.
All right, we know we're gonna wait another 15 minutes. Thanks. Yes, I saw her walking too, but when you're in a chair, you're in a chair, okay? It's something you just gotta let it be, you know? I mean, this is a great restaurant. This is Chevy Chase. Come on now, Ward 3.
So, what I just said, was that offensive to disabled people? Because I made fun of a wheelchair?
Audience. No. I was just using. I work in DC government, so I know the proper terminology. Okay. It's chairs instead of wheelchair. Yeah.
It's just chairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you already called her like a liar, so I guess.
What do you have a question for me?
Yes. Okay. So my question for you, Greg, is like, and I've heard people ask this before. Do you, when you look in the mirror, do you ever say like, thank God I'm white and male?
Yeah. I grew up in like a really kind of like rural part of Maryland, Westminster, Maryland, and so I didn't know anything about like big city life, or like I was in the Boy Scouts, and like I remember my like Boy Scout like scoutmaster, like the leader, would always tell these like racist jokes, and like they seemed harmless at the time. Like as I got older, I was like, this is weird that like this is a thing.
Yeah.
And then so when I got to college, I took like an American Studies class that was all about kind of like the white privilege and like all the different things. And at that point, I was kind of like, oh wow, like I am really, like I have this level of privilege that I think that most people don't ever get that like wake up call where like it's kind of like explained like the way that it interacts with everything. So at that point, I feel like I started to understand it, and at that point, I got more like, oh, I'm not going to use this word, I'm not going to use that word, and like became like real set in it. Then I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm not as set in it. Like the things that not that I would say like racist or like things, like other people would say like, oh, that's gay. And at that point, I was like Milton, like, no, we can't say that anymore. And then like the more it happens, like it just kind of like seeps back in.
Yeah.
So I feel like, first of all, yes, I do say like, oh wow, like I'm glad this is all working out for me. I have like no control over it. Like that's just the hand that I was dealt, and you play that hand. But then I do think though that I make special note for people who aren't exactly like me to be totally open and be just like, yeah, like what's up? Like how can we be on the same playing field?
Hey, Eagle Scout, Greg!
Oh
my God!
See you, Mr. Ken.
You look so good!
You look great too.
Yeah.
How's the electrical union job?
Oh,
It's good?
It's going well, it's going well. They try to get some new people into the union. And you know I'm a union guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talent is important to me, right? But there's a certain culture we have. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by culture. Like it's like working hard and like showing up, like being there.
Well, yeah, that's part of it too. It's the way we grew up. You know, like when I was Girl Scout.
Yeah.
Right? And we would go out and I would say, hey, you see those people over there? Don't talk to them.
Yeah, I'll take some coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was actually, so I wanted to talk to you about that. Because we all know that the Boy Scout oath and the Boy Scout law, so you know, it's like trustworthy, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Like, I like live my life based, yeah. And so I feel like the way that we treated some people, like we didn't meet those standards.
What? Look, the good Lord made a certain hierarchy. And those people who are not within our hierarchy are at the bottom.
Okay.
I'm not saying going around really calling people out of their names and this and that. I think people just should know where they belong and where we belong.
Okay, so I don't remember the full joke, but I remember that the punchline was, that's nacho cheese. When someone running down the street after a wheel of cheese screaming, that's nacho cheese, that's nacho cheese.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was racist against, but I know it was racist.
What do you call cheese? It's not a black man's. You know punchline. You say that. Nacho cheese. Look, Greg, I'm just.
In my mind,
I'm just joking.
in my mind, I actually remembered that as being racist against Latinos. So.
Yeah, though they've been moving in too. All right, so I got another question.
Okay.
For you, Greg. We've heard like reports and articles and this and that by the year, I don't know, let me say 2015 or not 2015, 2050 or maybe even sooner, that the majority, which are white folks, are going to now become the minority, and we're probably even closer. Do you feel threatened by that?
No, I don't. So I'm a father. I have a 3-year-old daughter. So I feel like that in many ways to me is like when I see people doing stuff like against women, I'm just like, how do you do this if you have a daughter, if you don't have a daughter? And then also like, I don't understand how you could change a daughter's diapers and then like be mean to women. Like there's something like, I understand if like you had a daughter and you never saw her, like I never helped out, but like when you're like hands on, like with the daughter, it's like, how do you, to me it's weird that you could then like go do mean things like when you're like such like a little ball of love that you're helping out. But so like,
How dare you say such a misogynistic thing to me? You hold on right there. Here's our baby.
I want that baby to stay in the baby cover. Room.
This is your child, okay? This is Brittany,
Yeah.
okay? Named after Britney Spears, who I love and you love, okay? Obviously, you don't love the other women in the world.
Well, I didn't go out to IKEA and buy that cabinet and then secure it to the wall so it wouldn't fall over on Brittany so that I could have her walking around and not be in the cabinet.
No, I agree with you with the cabinet. At first, I said, maybe that's too high for a baby, but then I work on like my arms, right?
Your triceps are sick.
Thank you. But you know what?
What?
You haven't changed the diaper. And I think if you changed the diaper, you wouldn't be saying those foul stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Give me this baby. I'm going to change your diaper.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it at 100%, or you do it at like 71% or something.
Yeah. Isn't it a disgusting thing you said?
I said, what?
Glenn, we want you to be a part of this family. We want you to respect our bodies.
So little.
She's
She's so little. Pure.
pure. And she turns into a woman. All right? Or whatever gender identifying. When you say those mean, insensitive things, that affects her and me.
You could be anything that you want to be, including a man, if that's what you want to be.
Now put her back up.